Merle's Inlet is a quaint little drinking village with a fishing problem. The captains at Merle's Inlet Fishing Charters get to live the best of both of these. These are the untold stories from the boats that never make it past the dock. Grab a cold beer or shot of liquor and enjoy all of the chaos of what actually happens on the boats during the best and worst charters.
All right, folks, welcome back to Captain Spolonius Reports. And keeping with the topics of the day, these are, what we say, tournament letdowns and tournament...
the tournament roller coaster, highs and lows.
Highs and lows of tournament fishing.
Highs and lows of tournament fishing. Well, I'm going to tell you real quick, we are going to get serious for one segment in our 5-week period. We're going to get serious right now because Hooked on Miracles, a tournament that you and I both fished. Jason and I have fished the last several years, and I've fished it back into, I would say, the early or mid-2000s. Started fishing it. Very near and dear to my heart, very near and dear to the man on the phone's heart, and that is Britt Tooley with Hooked on Miracles out of Charleston. Britt, thank you for such short notice and joining us today, brother.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm glad to do it. We're excited about this year's. Looks like our fundraising is going to exceed last year's.
Well, I'm going to say this right now, and it goes without saying. Britt Tooley, you are probably about 90% responsible for that.
No, I'm not. It's a team effort. I mean, this thing started. We only raised $30,000 our first year, and then we figured out we needed some administrative help. So we got some young gals to come in and organize us old guys, and that helped tremendously. And the community just jumped in and really, really did a lot for this tournament over the next several years.
I'm going to say real quick, and I'm going to jump right on the bandwagon with what you said. Having those women to keep the chaos organized is really, really smart, isn't it?
I'll say the
Absolutely.
The best way to describe a group.
Our weigh-in process and everything was 100% better the second year than it was the first year. So,
yeah, there's no doubt about it. And this tournament, most people don't realize all the work that goes into a charity tournament. And this is charity. There is nobody takes a check from this tournament except MUSC. Nobody draws a pay. Every single person is volunteer, from the weighmaster all the way down to the little old guys that sit there and do the registration, and girls that do registration, sell T-shirts and all that. And it doesn't happen without all those volunteers. But it starts back in December and January, and even earlier than that, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, we crank back up probably several months after it's over. Probably September, we crank back up and have our first meetings and kind of sort through things and what we can do better and how everything worked out. And yeah, it's definitely a team effort, and most everything that we have. You take that air conditioned tent. That's all donated.
Yep.
Sunbelt Rentals comes in with a air conditioned system that air conditions that big tent. And Ripley Light Yacht Club this year, under new ownership, has donated the space, so we don't have to pay for that. All the food is donated that we serve. All the alcohol is donated, so we don't have to buy much.
And you just mentioned something. Ripley Light Marina is a great venue. We have an incredible time there. They've always been very cordial, very, very accommodating. But I'm super excited about the new ownership. We having the manager there and the new owners. At least one of the board meetings I was at the committee meeting, I think makes a difference, and it shows that their investment in it. They want this tournament to continue to grow.
Yes, they have opened their arms to us, and they just said, we're in it for the long run. So that's good to hear.
Well, the guy sitting to the right of me, and I want to talk about it. First and foremost, before we talk about the tournament, I want to talk about what the tournament actually raises money for, which a lot of people question, hey, so what do you guys do for MUSC? The guy next to me, has a son who was born how many weeks early?
He was born at 24 weeks.
Yeah, born at 24 weeks, and spent his
what's
first
full term?
40.
40.
40.
Okay.
So he was a little over halfway. So
halfway there, and spent the next 4 months.
We spent 3 months at MUSC, which was like absolutely probably one of the greatest experiences of my life.
Exactly. And now he's very involved with Hooked on Miracles. He's all about it and loves coming down there. He's bringing a crew down with him this year. But, you know, all of us have stories where that MUSC Children's Hospital has touched our lives, whether it's my niece, who has been at the tournament the last 2 years, and then all the incredible kids that I've gotten on the boat with Hutch, you know, last year and got to experience that whole deal where the kids go fishing with Hutch, which is...
Oh, that's absolutely phenomenal.
You know, we can't say enough about Hutch Holzberg, Key West Boats, and their involvement and belief in this tournament. And when I say involvement, I mean, I don't want to say a blank check, but Britt, you and I both know, whatever it takes, Hutch is going to make it happen.
He has such a big heart. And, you know, that Friday fish day is his favorite day of the tournament.
Yep.
It's not about the winning the money. And, you know, he kicked in the extra $5,000, and this year he kicked in the extra $5,000 for Key West Boats, first, second, and third place. So first place Key West this year will be $2,500 extra dollars. Second is $1,500, and third is $1,000. And he did that last year as well, and that's above and beyond whatever else he does.
That's right, and that's good because I know we've been promoting that hard. But you know, a lot of guys with Key West Boats, that's a initiative, to come fish. I mean, it is. Now y'all actually won that money last year, didn't you, Britt?
Yes, and Hutch gave it right back to the tournament.
Exactly,
Yep.
as would have been expected. And go ahead.
And I think if God is willing, one day if we ever win this thing, I know I won't see a penny of it. It'll all go back to the tournament.
Yeah, and that goes back to my days of when I got to fish with y'all. You know, I think the agreement had been pretty much made that anything won was going back. You know.
Yeah.
And again, Hutch is a very kind-hearted person, but there are tons of sponsors also that have jumped on board. But what are these sponsors' money going towards, Britt? Let's talk about that. You and I both got the pleasure of meeting Cher in person, but we've got other things in the works too, and new therapy dogs. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, we got Zelda now.
That's
so
right.
We've got two. We got Cher and Zelda, and we should have a third one. I don't know the exact time frame, but we're going to fill the hospital up with therapy dogs.
And I can tell you from speaking with patients and their families that have been in there, those dogs are welcome when they come to the room of a kid who is scared to death of treatment that he's getting ready to go through or coming out of treatment that he just went through. And you know, I share with you all the pictures that I get from patients that acknowledge the fact that they got to see Cher or any of the other therapy dogs there, and how much it means to their kids.
It's unbelievable what the response from the kids, and the other bonus is the nurses and the doctors get a big plus from these dogs being there.
That's right. A dog relieves stress. That's why most of us own one. Quentin's got to say something.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm a grown-ass man, and, man, I see a dog walking down the marsh walk, it makes my day.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if it's a 2-pound Chihuahua or a 140-pound Great Dane, man. Getting to pet a dog might be the highlight of my day some days, and I have some pretty daggum good days.
I can tell you from experience, during the whole, my son's name's Finley. During the whole Finley experience, my wife had to live in Charleston for 3 months. And you're talking about, you know, a 30-year-old, you know, girl. We're not talking about a 12-year-old. And the most common text that I got when she stayed was pictures of the dog at Ronald McDonald House and up in the hospital. And she was like, oh, look at the dog. Oh, isn't he cute? Blah, blah, blah. And for that brief moment, there wasn't, oh, I'm worried, I'm scared. It was, check out the dog. Like, this is cool. Like, So it works perfect as a, therapy, situation.
And
Absolutely.
and you don't realize the training that these dogs have to go through to become a therapy dog at this hospital. It's not everyone that can make it. It's a certain dog, certain breed that can make this happen. They just it's a long process. Cher was actually one of the youngest ones. I think she was 18 months when she got picked to go to the hospital.
Yep. And that's, I mean, these are the expenses that we, the tournament donates to. I mean, it's not out. It's not like going out there and just buying a $1,500 dog and saying here, and paying somebody X amount to take the dog to the hospital. There's a lot more that goes into it.
It is. They've got a home nurse and a in-hospital nurse. So there's two basically people taking care of that dog, and we have to supply the funds from cradle to grave for that dog.
Well, I tell you, also going along with that, we've turned it into a 3-night event. I mean, we have basically. And Jason, we enjoyed it last year and the year before. We're going to enjoy it.
I thoroughly enjoy myself there.
Yeah, we're going to enjoy it coming up. But we try to give back to the sponsors that get involved and that do sponsor it. And that Friday night sponsors party, although it's the night before the first tournament, I think that's what keeps it so calm. It's the night before the tournament. But what a great time getting together with that whole crowd and the group from MUSC when they come over.
Yes, and the sponsors love it. It's very well done. And this year, MUSC has a teddy bear promotion that they're doing. You can actually purchase a teddy bear at the sponsors party and put your name on it, and it will go to a child in the hospital with your name as the sponsor of that bear.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't see. This is what happens when I miss the committee meetings, and I apologize.
How much is a bear?
How much is a bear?
$100.
$100.
$100 for a teddy bear.
Well, I'm trying to budget myself accordingly for this weekend, so I need to budget an extra. Need to run an extra trip or two, get that $100 so I can buy a bear.
Yep.
Sounds like we're all going to buy a bear.
We also have hats this year as well, so that'll be good.
They turned out awesome. The hats turned out awesome. Last year, we could have sold every hat. I mean, had we had hats, you know how quick we could have sold them. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. We could have sold out of every hat, but this year they look good. The colors look good. I've sent Jason some pictures.
Oh yeah, they look great.
Yep, they'll go quick, and the T-shirts are always great.
Since we got Brett on the phone, though, we do need to get some kind of horror story from him.
Oh, we're going to get a horror story, but let's talk about the tournament real quick, format and everything else. So,
I want to hear. I know he's got one just hiding.
Well, I'm going to share a video of him singing and dancing on the back of the boat too. Too bad it's all audio, but I got video of him dancing on the back of a boat from Jay or Kelly Bache, one of the two, when they were fishing with him. Of course, that's his. They kicked me off the boat and have taken my spot on the boat with them. And
that's because you dress up like Big Bird, isn't it?
No,
Team Big Bird.
I fished with Team Big Bird. Yep.
And that is a bright spot of the tournament when y'all come in and John is dressed up like Big Bird.
Yeah. Just in case our listeners don't know, he literally
wears
chicken costumes, and they show up on the dock dressed up like Big Bird.
Yep, he does. And I'll tell you, the poor guy, it's 102 degrees, but he'll put it on. He doesn't care. But we got shirts this year. You saw the shirts. I sent them to Britt. He said they look great.
I saw the shirts.
Yep, we got team shirts this year. But the tournament is a one-day format and big fish format. Let's talk about that real quick. And I know they can go to HookedOnMiraclesKMT.com to find all that information as well as volunteers. But in general, let's talk about the tournament. Big fish. Do we have a small boat division? I can't remember.
Yes, we do. We do.
Okay. Let's real quick. So they can sign up right now. They can go online and go ahead and pre-register, and that's important. We need to know that for food and everything else. But you don't have to make a payment. You don't have to pay for your team. Just if you have intentions of coming down there, we know how weather can deter, unfortunately, people participating. But you can sign up right now and go on there, and you can pay at the captain's meeting on the 13th, correct?
That is correct. And just to let all the small boats and everybody else know, there's been some big kingfish caught off of Folly Pier here in the last several days.
Oh
So,
yeah, I'm ready.
Well,
and a tarpon. They caught a tarpon off the pier the other day.
I saw that. And the guy went down and got in the water with it and made sure it
Yes.
swam off.
So you know what that means.
Oh, well, I know what it means. Yep.
That means the bait's here, so the fish are going to be here.
That means that you're going to be sitting at the palm tree hole.
Who?
What?
Who?
You're going to be sitting at the palm tree hole.
What are you, part owl?
Who?
Who?
They ain't a palm tree hole.
Hey, the palm tree hole is like right now. It's like it's jam packed during tournament day. There was a really big fish caught last weekend down there, but I know where you're going to be, and I'm not going to disclose that.
Well, I don't know where we're going to be.
None of us do. None of us
You know,
do.
Dan always told everybody when they asked where we caught our fish, we said the minefield, and we never were anywhere near there.
Where is the minefield?
It's a I don't know. It's like a 15 square mile area just off the side of the ship channel here.
Well, personally, you've been fishing in the tournament even back in its original days. Did you say you've been fishing since the 90s?
Well, the first tournament I fished was 1981.
Oh, wow.
The East Coast got them on.
There you go. That's coming up next 2 weeks.
Yep, and the first year of this tournament was 94, and of course, I fished, and Dan had to stay on the hill that year because he was the ringleader in the tournament, so he couldn't fish, and that's the year that we thought we had the man, and
What was
it for over an hour.
What was the man?
Never saw it jump. Yep, never saw it jump, and I looked down and saw it shoulders, and I said to Bruce, I said, if this is a kingfish, you better get that other gaff. And it rolled over, and then I could see it was a tarpon, but it was probably 100+ pound tarpon.
That'll hurt your feelings. You know, even a bigger barracuda will get your heart going when you look down in that water column and can see it down there. But I can't imagine a tarpon making those runs that are so, similar, obviously, and then staying down deep, not having any idea. That would be very tough. That would be tough.
It never jumped. Yep, never jumped.
All right, so Ripley Lake Marina. I tell people every year, y'all, there's 3 hotels right there at the marina, right around the water. Plenty of places to stay. You can call the marina there, try to get a slip. If you don't, there's all kinds of options down in Charleston. But the cool thing is you only have to leave from a South Carolina port. You can leave from anywhere.
That is correct. You can fish anywhere, just leave from the South Carolina inlet.
So that opens it up for those guys that want to run north and go chase those fish. But, I think back to years past and guys that would only give themselves an hour and a half because of how far they were traveling to be able to fish and have to get.
It's we decided not to really put a bunch of boundaries on a fish tournament. If the guys want to burn the gas and run, let them go.
Hey, it's been one close to Charleston the last couple of years, so hopefully it'll happen again this year.
Yep, that's for sure.
And hopefully it'll be a Key West boat. Has a Key West boat won the tournament ever?
I don't think so, Inglis. I don't think a Key West boat has, but anything's possible.
That's right. And what is the highest that you've ever finished?
We finished 3rd one year.
Well, that's a good finish. Last year y'all were what, 8th?
Yeah, 7th or 8th, something
7th
like that.
or 8th, yeah, that's right. And I think we were 13th or something. We were 15th, right outside the money. But we're looking forward to it. I got a crazy crew coming down. We're going to have a good time, and I got plenty of volunteers that are going to sign up. And, again, you can find all the information at hookedonmiracleskmt.com. And any last words, Britt? Any inspirational words you want to give anybody that might be second-guessing whether they want to try to get into a king mackerel tournament or not?
Well, the fish are here, and the bait is here. And, the facilities we have this tournament at are great. The weigh-in's great. The hospitality's great. The accommodations are right there. You can walk out of your room. You're looking at the marina from your room. So,
Yep.
There's no reason not. And they got plenty of trailer parking, so there's no problem with that. So, I'd say come fish.
Well, we're bringing a crowd this year, and I know we're going to have a great group. And again, Britt, I'm super proud to call you a friend. And I honestly, if anybody ever needed to raise money for me or for anybody in my family for some reason, I'm calling you first and foremost. And secondly, I want to give a shout out to everybody in Charleston that gets involved with this tournament, because there's a different breed of person and people in Charleston, because they just get behind and support great things, because they get to lay their eyes on MUSC every day. And I think that's what really helps. They know how important it is.
Everybody's been touched by this hospital.
That's right. Yep, whether a kid, adult, or anything. Well, I'll tell you what, buddy, I'm looking forward to it. We'll be down there, and again, we appreciate such last-minute notice and you taking the time out to join us. We're going to let you get back to your evening, and we're going to get back to talking some craziness over here from Captain Spolonius Reports. That was my good friend, Britt Tooley, from Hooked on Miracles King Mackerel Tournament, and we are Captain Spolonius Reports. We'll be back on the other side of this break with some more lies, tales, and heartbreaks from tournaments. Is that where we're going? All right, y'all. Don't go anywhere. Freeman Boat Works and Trilogy Outdoors are proud to announce the addition of Freeman Boat Works to our family of incredible partners. Billy Freeman and his team at Freeman Boat Works epitomize the American dream. From building the first boat in Billy's backyard to a 150,000 square foot state-of-the-art manufacturing plant over the past 15 years, they are building one of the most sought-after boats in the U.S. and beyond. These incredible fishing platforms are built in South Carolina and are second to none in stability, speed, and performance overall. These catamaran designs are engineered not only to get you to the fish fast, but comfortably too. Years of refining designs and pioneering the modern performance fishing catamaran is why Freeman Boat Works is the #1 choice for some of the biggest names in the fishing industry. If it's long runs in the Gulf or the Carolinas, or days you can go fishing in South Florida when most center consoles stay at the dock, Freeman Boat Works is at the forefront in all categories. For more information on Freeman Boat Works and their 6 available models, visit www.freemanboatworks.com. Redefine your expectations.
Trilogy Outdoors Podcast is a product of Trilogy Outdoors Media. All views and opinions of our hosts and guests are not necessarily those of our sponsors. Trilogy Outdoors is produced and edited by Trilogy Outdoors Media. Be sure to follow us on all the podcast platforms, as well as our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And also, don't forget our other brands, Southern English Radio Show and Walk 'Em All Outdoor Magazine. To find more information, visit TrilogyOutdoorsMedia.com. And remember, if it's anything dealing with fins, fur, and feathers, you're going to find it right here on Trilogy Outdoors.